Stellaris Federations. I hope you're as interested in this topic as I am. I decided to make a video about it, and we'll go first through the official infos, then through all the infos that have been discovered on the PDXCon and have been mostly collected by some very valuable Reddit members. And we'll have a look at these, well, I wouldn't call them rumors, I would call them very valuable observations, and we'll have a look at everything together and draw our own conclusions. So let's get started. We'll also watch the trailer together, because watching trailers is always a nice thing. So, what is Stellaris Federations about? What does Paradox say? Keep your enemies close. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. But if you watch the trailer, we'll come back to that. Without fighting. With the Stellaris Federations expansions, players can extend their diplomatic dominion over the galaxy like never before. You can use every trick in the book to gain an edge on friend and foe alike, with a host of new options to influence, manipulate and dominate without firing a shot. So, if you're a pacifist and want to conquer the galaxy, maybe you can do so now. Peacefully. So let's see. What are the main features? Expanded federations. Yeah, I mean the federations are kind of cool right now, but they have some very big flaws. I mean, if the AI is leading your federation fleet, then good luck in wars. They are not really a big help. If you're attacked by, let's say, an opponent that is as big as the Federation combined, then really, good luck. Good luck. The only thing you can do is follow your Federation partner around, otherwise you'll just lose the war, because they will not that often help you, and sometimes they'll have a whole fleet sitting around somewhere, so I hope that gets patched with the Federation's expansion. This is my sincere hope that they improve the AI specifically for the Federations. So that's also I think the main weakness of the Stellaris game is how the Federations work. They are a good thing to have, and they are like keeping your enemies away, but we want to go beyond that, right? So, players can build up the internal cohesion of their federations and unlock powerful rewards for all members. Whether you join a trade league, a martial alliance or hegemony, membership can be extremely advantageous. So, you have some kind of probably a role-playing, maybe a tree option where you can unlock advantages for the members. That sounds pretty nice. That sounds similar to the Dynasty system that they want to introduce into Crusader Kings 3, and that sounds a little bit like the Bloodlines of Crusader Kings. It sounds cool all along. It really sounds, because what you have there too is you have different types of federations. Trade League, Martial Alliance, Hegemony. So that is really nice. The question is that limited to certain government types, or is it open, or how open is it? That's certainly going to be interesting. Then we have a Galactic community. Unite the space empires with a Galactic Senate that can vote on a wide range of resolutions to drive legislative agendas. For example, players can pass a resolution to increase commitments to collective defense or funnel profit towards wealthy elites. Members can also sanction those who defy the community and enact a single galactic focus. Sway the Senate to position yourself as a leader, trading favors and maneuvering, doing whatever it takes to gain influence among schemers. So, the Galactic Senate. Yeah, that sounds a lot like good old Master of Orion or Master of Orion 2, where you also had a galactic community where you could win an anonymous vote to make you the galactic leader. We'll see if that is in there as well. That also sounds a lot like the United Nations mechanics of civilization that have always been, some have said easy, but it's a thing to conquer something without war. It's definitely something different. So then we have Origins. Origins have been teased in the dev diaries already as basically a better civic that also has a backstory and that shapes the path, as they say here. Each empire has a story that shapes its path. So that's also good for roleplay then. Give your civilization deeper roots with a new system of origins. So they might have, bigger influence than civics. By choosing an origin, so choosing an origin is not the same as choosing a civic. We already have some mechanics that are like origins, like the Ravenous Swarm or something, or like inward perfection that you cannot go away from later in the game. So I assume the same is it about origins, because you wouldn't be able to exchange your origins while you can exchange your civics. And like that change of civics has always been a mechanic that I've loved. On the other hand, if you want to go for something more fixed for the whole game, then the origin is definitely something that will improve your experience a lot. By choosing an origin, players can flesh out their empire's background and alter its starting conditions. Whether it's void dwellers who have abandoned their homeworld to live in perpetual orbit, or a society that worships and protects a powerful tree of life, you can lay the groundwork wisely for the seeds of your empire. And I expect also a lot of events, event chains, stories connected to these origins, like you have already. And I believe that has been taken from the preset empires that you have that are coming with Stellaris. You always have at least little consistent stories accompanying them. And if you play these empires, you'll discover that the specific events for these empires. I don't think they are played very much, but that's a nice thing for them. And integrating that into an origin system certainly is a very intelligent way to use like content like this, because then you will have always some special event chains, not only if you choose to go for that preset empire. So it's not the way of endless space. It is the way of self-customization, and you'll also choose your questing environment, if you say so. Then you have new constructions, really big things, among that also warlike ones. Construct glorious new projects for your empires like the Juggernaut, a massive mobile starbase that provides a movable repair base even in enemy territory, or the mega shipyard, a new megastructure that can churn out fleets with incredible speed, offering both tactical advantages and a good dose of shock and awe. These are sure to be an asset to any space empire. So the question is, which of these will be locked by the Galactic Wonders trait and which not? That's going to be interesting to see. Let's see what they recommend and what the minimum is. That's always kind of interesting for a lot of players, as Stellaris can run on pretty old machines still. Let's see if my ages-old thing can still run it, and it seems like it can. It's very nice. I'm even within the recommended specs there. I have an old work PC, and that is still there. I mean, you can look at that. A GTX 560 Ti with 1 GB VRAM is recommended. Of course, Windows 10 is now, that's just it with 60. It's just recommended, but you can still run it with Windows 7. I mean, Windows 7 will be obsolete in January 2020. There will be, as I'm informed, there will be no more patches coming out. So if you're still running Windows 7, then good luck. You should download Stellaris, and only for the patches. Then you have RAM, 4 GB. Yeah, that's all very lenient. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. It hasn't like gone very high in the recommended things. But look, if you have a Mac, you have to go a little bit higher. You're in the 4 range of the cores here already, the minimum system. So there's that. Then you have Linux there. Well, And in Linux, you're back to the Windows requirements. They're somehow overlapping here. I don't understand. But yeah, so if you have a Mac, you should have a at least relatively good Mac. If you have Linux or Windows, you can have a pretty old machine and it will still run okay. So let's have a look at the trailer and then we'll go to the nice and interesting Reddit collection.
And in conclusion, the signing of this historic treaty marks the prelude of an unprecedented era of peace, diplomacy, and unity, putting an end to the devastation of a war that plagued our nations for too long. So today, we celebrate the foundation of our Federation.
Can you hear that ticking? And look at the black thing that comes from out of nowhere in the upper left corner. Oh, what is that? Is that the mobile starbase coming in? I like the announcement trailer. It's pretty good. If you look at the faces of the people that are in there, you can see them here in the background as well. That one really looks a little bit like I was forced into this federation, but we had no choice. So there are probably going to be, the expanded diplomacy capabilities. This one maybe was integrated by war. That could be that you can use a war to integrate empires into your federation. That's going to be an interesting one, and that's probably connected to a hegemony or something like that. So now, the Reddit goodness. As you can see, I'm pretty open about my sources here. This thread was posted by this guy Urbinks on Reddit. Very valuable thread. The Federations and Lithoids info dump. Well, Lithoids will come out very quickly. Yeah, tomorrow. So I'm gonna make an info video then when I have the full Lithoids there. It's still interesting, but of course we'll go over Federations here. So let's see what they have found. And it's not only found by Urbinks, but he has made probably the brunt of the work. You can see he has seen the PDXCon stream. The interesting Stellaris part is around 30 minutes. And he made a lot of notes, which I'm eternally thankful for. So Urbinks, that's extremely nice. He has been upvoted, thankfully, a lot for this, because it's really a work of love. So we have seen that there's one more Federation type that is available that you can see here, or even two. Look at that. The Research Cooperative, the Trade League, the Military Alliance, that must be, the Galactic Union and the Hegemony. So Galactic Union and Research Cooperative have not been teased in the official info, but are there, apparently. And this confirms role-playing speculation. Every Federation will have experience points and the ability to level up. They have several passive abilities they can unlock by leveling up. So they are passive abilities for now. I expect probably DLCs to add active abilities. Oh my, these ads. That looks terrible. Research cooperatives get free and automatic research agreements with every member of the Federation by default as a basic feature. Their perks increase how strong that sharing is, among other things. That's very nice. I mean, I've dreamed of that. That's my playstyle, is basically going for massive research early on and then later on dominating everyone, and that's pretty nice, right? That's one of the playstyles that is there. Of course, there's also the Blitzkrieg playstyle and other playstyles. I think there's a Federation for every playstyle a little bit. So trade leagues get that special trade league trade policy, which encompasses all the bonuses of the other trade policies combined, so quite powerful. Indeed, that's very helpful with the new options there. And Galactic Unions, the default federations that make it easier to collaborate in a larger federation. Maybe that implies lower cohesion penalties, and maybe that some of that has to be unlocked, maybe via the tradition system, and some has not to be unlocked, or maybe that can the Galactic Union maybe can transform into that. We'll see. A martial alliance is oriented around having a large fleet, which is also very powerful. So that's going to be the big federation, or the republic, I don't know. And the hegemony probably is oriented around one strong empire and a bunch of weaker empires. As you can see, yeah, that's probably something like the fallen empires have. If you have these hegemonies that like have all their minor members forced into them by war. So the weaker empires cannot leave the Federation without permission of its president. The president has a special war goal, not casus belli, that can force other empires into the hegemony, as I've already speculated. One of the perks mentioned for the hegemony members provides increased resource production. The hegemony members have more autonomy than vassals, so it's the same thing as the fallen empires have for that thing. Gaining experience requires maintained cohesion. I would think it pretty nicely if you would have these treaties that the fallen empires can give you are available for the player as well. I mean, probably there are some very good modders that would really use that too. I hope that is moddable. That would be so great. Then gaining experience requires maintain cohesion. I don't know what the cohesion implies. Maybe how many people say yes when you go for a decision or something like that. Cohesion is penalized by having a large federation and by having empires with differing ethics. So yeah, so if it's a coalition of needs and musts, then it's not as effective. That makes sense. Cohesion penalty can be offset by assigning envoys. That might have a cost then. The cost might probably be influence, as that's one of the things that is limited. And this sounds like it's very powerful, so it makes sense to limit it. Federations usually have 2 perks that can affect all members and 1 perk that affects the president. So if you're the president of the federation, you get extra bonuses. So it's like the Monopoly. If you already have a lot, you'll get even more. It is per level up or just overall, all hard to tell. Hegemony has even more perks for the president. 2 ones, and the other members just get 1. So the president would have the 2 perks plus the 1 for the other members. So the president would have 2 perks more than the other members. And in the usual federation, it is that the usual members have 2 perks, and yeah, the president gets 3 perks as a sum. Or is it like that? 1 perk that affects the president. I would think that the 2 perks are additional. So that's kind of unclear. We'll see how that works. It makes sense that in a hegemony it has more advantages for the leading federation than for the members. Otherwise you're penalized to be the president of the federation, which in a way makes sense and in another way doesn't make sense. It makes sense if you're going for like equality or something, and if it doesn't make sense if you're going from the view of real politics. Federation laws customize federations and seem to be, at least in part, tied to federation levels and federation types. So you unlock probably a couple of options that have to be kept in check, like, yeah, the usual laws to have probably something like slavery, yes or no, or purging, yes or no, would be among the standards, or maybe a bombardment stance that can be used or not used. or maybe trade treaties with empires out of the Federation, allowed, not allowed. An example of new Federation law is the naval capacity contribution law. 20% is not the default. As another example, Federation law is not enacted for a research cooperative, which was said to have level up first, and then select the law to have any sort of Federation fleet. They also can't reach the highest level of fleet contribution that other federations can reach, so it's more, it's focused on the research. Another set of laws determines how the president is selected and for how long is the president the leader of the federation. Included examples are rotating, the one that was pre-Le Guin, random, highest diplomatic weight, and challenge. Currently, it's the most powerful one is the leader of the federation. After the diplomacy, if you click on there and your highest, then you'll get the leader position, and you're lucky to have the leader position if you have if you have the Federation fleet under your wing. The Federation will do good. If you have the Federation fleet under the AI's wing, you have to follow the Federation fleet or you'll have problems. Challenge law selects between the strongest empires. What is challenge law? Selects between strongest empires or empires that are willing to participate. Example was of a psionic battle. I assume this means that more challenge laws would be available. That sounds quite interesting. What is a challenge law? The federation type you can propose to form is limited by your government factors. Trade League can only be formed by a megacorp or an empire with merchant guild civic. For example, that was after the audience questions and answers, so that's very nice to get that. That's probably something very obscure that I'm so thankful that Urbinks has looked at that so thoroughly. Then we have the Galactic community. UN in space, a Galactic UN, a GUN, so to say. Yeah. As I said, it's different. It's probably a little bit only different to the mechanics we had in other games, 4X games that have this. As I've already commented from time to time, they have taken a lot recently from the old Master of Orion games 1 and 2 and introduced that. And that's not a bad thing because these games were phenomenal. And yeah, so effects of... Oh, I have the law mechanics, the resolutions. Yeah, UN resolutions. These affect all the members of the Galactic community. So you can really... it's like in Civilization, you can really hinder your opponents a lot. Then you have the effects of resolutions described to be contentious, so expect trade-offs on most of them. And one example of a resolution is a resolution that trades naval capacity for higher trade value, make the galaxy more peaceful a bit. Another example is a resolution that increases the contribution of your naval capacity to your diplomatic weight. So that diplomatic weight seems to be a new mechanic a little bit. I mean, it was hidden. If you had a big fleet, you would always get donations from other empires. In the current patch, that is still the case. Resolutions can be proposed by any member of the Galactic community. After proposing one, they are added in a queue. The resolution that is backed by the highest amount of diplomatic weight will be the highest one in queue. So if you yourself have a higher diplomatic weight, then you're the winner. Or you are at least the favorite there. You aren't the only one who can put weight into it. See favors section, yeah. So you can probably have something like in Crusader Kings where you can trade something. You'll vote with me in the Galactic Federation for some kind of bribe. That could be possible. Only one resolution can be voted on at a time. I'm really looking forward to how or what the AI does with that. You know, that's gonna be very interesting on Grand Admiral, maybe with an improved AI mod. Ooh, that's gonna be some really funny thing. The current duration for a resolution voting process is 5 years. That's reasonable. That's really nice. So it affects you, but not for that long. And it also sets a time for if you have an advantage for some kind of special operation there. and you can really do it. Some resolutions set a galactic focus. An example of that is forming the galactic market, which is no longer covered by an event, but rather is a resolution you need to vote on. Another example of a galactic focus is a focus to defeat a crisis, and that is something I really love, because that was always something really odd, like that I have encountered even in the Grand Admiral things, even when they had improved, at least in 1.9 they had improved the AI fighting the crisis, but in the 2.2 and so on patches, that kind of went away a bit. The AI is not capable to defeat a crisis which is at 5x strength. I can safely say that. I have never seen any kind of success of the AI against that in the newer patches. In the older patches I have, which is on the other hand phenomenal. So we'll see if that improves the working together of AIs and also with you, because what they do at the moment is sending fleets after fleets after fleets to the crisis, which kind of hinders them a bit, but you have to do the work of removing the crisis if you have a strong crisis. So that replaces the normal threat interaction. Empires needed to be personally threatened by the spooky and bidden to start doing something cohesively. Now the Galactic Space UN can meet and be like, yeah, okay, drop everything, we need to beat the crisis now, boys. Only one galactic focus can be active at a time. So it's a very special thing, which I like. A Security Council can also be formed. Members of the Security Council are privileged with the power of veto and can fast-track a resolution into voting without dealing with a resolution queue as an emergency measure. I really like that. That's so cool. I mean, really cool that they thought about something like that. Because in a crisis case, that is something really needed. Yeah, one would like to have something like that in real life, in real diplomacy too, right? Potential laws also include giving the Galactic Council more power in resolution votes and changing the amount of council members. Even to just one resolution member. Become the Senate. Then we have diplomatic weight. Yeah, that's a score-based resource. So it works kind of like the old thing, but the difference is that you see your score now and you can use it for something. Its gain is calculated primarily through the fleet strength, economic power, technological advancements, and so on. AKA probably exactly like our current score system, but with the ability to influence it somehow through civics and policies. Yeah. That might be the thing. Exactly, I think Urbings is very spot on with this. It's very nice to read something like that. So, judging by how it was used and mentioned, it's not as much of a mana as it is a power level. So you won't get your Diplo weight dropped by backing a resolution, so you can back all of them if you want. A total difference of 0 really, so it's a choice thing, not something that like expends your power. And you don't spend it to do something, you just aim your diplomatic gun at someone and apply the diplomatic, damage, or you reach your goal with it. Bird damage type instead, okay. Favors. You have diplomatic favors. They seem to be only focused on the galactic community now. So if you're out of the galactic community, you cannot trade favors. For example, Ravenous Swarms, right? They might be out of the galactic community. Basically, you can borrow diplomatic weight from another empire to back a resolution you want by calling in favors. That's what I said about Crusader Kings. Yeah. Daniel used 10 favors as something that can be used, Daniel Morregard probably, to have an empire put their whole diplomatic weight into backing your proposed policy, which means that one favor gave you 10% in that case. The target empire's diplomatic weight for the resolution. And then we have envoys. Closest analogy are diplomats in EU4. They can be assigned to the galactic community to gain more diplomatic weight. Can also be assigned to your federation to increase cohesion. So It's not a cost that you have there, but it's a choice to make. So you can either send them to the Galactic community, or you can send them and use them in your Federation. So there's your choice to make. That's right. I really like these choices often. I mean, I also like actions, but you have so many actions to do already that choices are really something that matters a lot. And we have the origins. There's the origins dev diary. You get, background for that. So this is not about the origins dev diary. We'll just look at what has been seen at the PDXCon, because that comes with the Federations DLC. And if there's another expanded dev diary for that, I expect that when Federations is approaching, we'll have a detailed look at that in a different video. We have the Shattered Ring. You can start on a Shattered Ring world, which is very, very cool for story and everything. Something that has been made in mods a lot, or something very similar, so I'm glad they're picking it up. Then we have Void Dwellers fled the destroyed homeworld to live on habitats. Yeah, starting on a habitat was also some very popular mod thing. If you like good stories, can build habitats earlier and has a difficulty inhabiting other planets. Yeah, that could be combined with, you have a Lost Gaia planet or something. And Scion, start as a vassal of a fallen empire, promised interesting interactions. That's so cool. I have to try that. I really like that. So I hope they are also giving the fallen empires more interesting interactions. Remnants, start on the relic world to rediscover former glory of your empire through archaeology sites. That sounds so good. The Tree of Life, a hive mind only though. Give the homeworld a Tree of Life that provides massive bonuses at a cost of having hefty penalties if the homeworld is lost or the tree is destroyed. So the hive minds, I mean, they will be very interesting to play them. Even more interesting than they are already with their different food mechanics. And then there's another origin that starts you in a hegemony federation with sort of vassal states, and something that starts you in a more friendly federation. So that makes also sense that you have a group of federations. Like, the question is, can you determine which empires you have along with you? Because that would be like the topping, basically the best thing ever. It would be like syncretic evolution, but with even more customization also for the AI. So 18 origins are planned to be available at release. Most likely includes non-Federation DLC ones too. So some will be free and replacing other civics, and some will come with the Federation DLCs. Then we have the mega constructs that come along with the Federation DLCs. The Juggernaut, as we've already seen, is a mobile starbase, can both repair and build ships, and is strong enough to hold its ground in combat. And the mega shipyard that allows building a lot of ships really quickly, and that's the two mega constructs. So that's that. Let's see. Lithoids will go for a detailed video once it is out. And other things, hotkey binding is not planned. Other phenotypes might get different traits. That's something really nice, depending on the ideas that they have. That's not something they are planning to do currently, but that might go on. And Blorgs might finally find friendship, depending on how they play their cards in the Galactic arena. Yeah, we're all happy about that, right? I really like to play the Blorg. I've played them once, and it's a nice experience to have the Blorg. So I'm looking forward to more options playing the Blorg, as they have an own story along with them too in the preset empires. That might also be something they might expand on with the origins. So all in all, I'm looking forward to a lot. We'll now, as a little extra, go for some screenshots that I also got from, I think from Twitter it was. And yeah, just as a thing, so you can see the mega structures, or the mega, how are they called here? Mega constructs. Yeah, I'd call them mega structures. I think they are the same as mega structures. But okay, I mean, this thing is mobile, so that's a difference to a mega structure, and a mega shipyard might be in a starbase, so there might be a difference in that. So let's quickly have a look at that too. So we have the mega constructs seen here. That is the Juggernaut. Basically, that's the mobile starbase that can follow you on. What that is, you should or you could know, I think that's Daniel Morrigan, the basically lead designer of Federations and Stellaris at the moment. And that is the mega shipyard, which seems to be a nice concept art. I really like how it looks, so it's also a nice mega construct structure. Can we see anything about that? You can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shipyards maybe. Maybe these are all shipyards, and then you have 14 shipyards parallel. That's big. That's really big. A normal space station can have, I think, 6, and then you're limiting the impact of the space station a lot if you use it only for shipyards. So this is a very good thing to have, and probably has some expansion slots for the Titans. That's gonna look really nice. Let's see what we have there. Yeah, that's a closer look at one of them in the surroundings, and yeah, that were the most interesting screenshots I have seen. So with that and this picture, I'd say thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. I'm really looking forward to the Federations DLC. Maybe it will also improve the AI behavior in Federations, one can hope. I mean, it would be required to. We'll see how the game runs then. Hopefully they also improve the base code a bit. It has been done constantly, but with adding new mechanics, the AI has more to do, and that seems to tend to play... there seems to be a tendency to play rush tactics, or at least smaller galaxies more often, because yeah, you might know that after 100 or 200 years the game becomes considerably slower. So I'm looking forward that they improve that as well. And then this is a gift from heavens. If they don't improve it that much, then it's still a very good DLC coming. Something that I've probably long waited for as a more peaceful player, and as a more maybe political player, not so much the battle go forward blitzkrieg player. So that's something for you if you're looking forward to a more peaceful playing style or a more political play style. That's now definitely possible when Federations comes out. And that's going to be very cool. So have a great time until next time, and happy gaming to you. If you want to see more videos, I'll usually cover new Stellaris things, or everything Stellaris, and like around that, and some Paradox things. Then I'd recommend subscribing and activating the bell, so you might sometimes get a recommendation for my videos. The safest thing is probably bookmarking the channel at this point, because it's it's a small channel, and if you don't activate the bell, then it's often unlikely that your videos get recommended again to people watching. If you at one point, let's say for a holiday, stop for a while, then usually you don't get messaged about the smaller channels in your subscription list anymore. So I'd really be thankful to stay in contact with you if you do that. if you have any comments, any expectations for Federations, or what is your favorite thing about the Federations, I'd really like to know that. My favorite is probably, well, the Federations themselves, and maybe really the Research Federation that can be activated. That's something I'm really looking forward to, even if it sounds a little bit more boring than the other Federations. It's cool, and that and the origins. So have a great time until next time, and happy gaming. This is Immanuel signing out. See you soon. All the best.